In the morning, Sim and Alice brought the blind man to the house. Despite his lack of sight, he was quite the computer expert. He talked the others through the process of setting up a video phone. He said it should serve our purpose, but the low bit rate might make everyone's faces look a bit blocky. The device soon crackled into life. Hello Nighthawk. This is Dr. Hero of Japan. Are you receiving me? Over. Hello, said the old lady. This is Nighthawk. It's good to speak to you again. Dr. Hero explained that something had gone wrong and the enemy robots had nearly breached their defenses. We have everything we need to broadcast our nice virus and make the robots far more passive. It might take a few months. Can you hold out until then? Dr. Hero sighed. Well, we'll have to. I spent the rest of that day helping Sim and the blind man set up a computer with what they called the internet. The planet might have been ravaged by war, but this allowed people to communicate with each other. The old lady was concerned about viruses and other technical-sounding things, explaining that they might infect me. But Mr. Silton talked right over her, as he convinced everyone it was a great idea. It was amazing. When Heather and I looked at it, there was nothing but video games and awesome cartoons. When Mr. Preston looked, it was all strange conspiracies and ghosts. Mr. Logan saw guns. Alice saw that her church was having a summer fete. For Mr. Deck it was operas and subtitled films. But when Mr. Silton looked at it, I was shocked to find the entire thing was full of naked ladies. Later that evening, Mr. Silton wheeled an old piano into the room. Heather smiled as she explained that her parents had bought it for her when she had seen it in an old junk shop. As a thank you, she had written a piece of music for her parents, which one day she tried to play for them. For some reason, she then gave me a huge hug and suggested I might like to play the piano with her. As happy as the old lady was with us playing the piano, we soon got back to business. After scanning the house, she explained that, other than the escaped nanobots, there were 4 test robots that I would have to track down. They had each taken important satellite parts that we would need to broadcast the nice virus, and we had to get these parts back to the hallway with the rest of our equipment. If you're going to explore the house, said Mr. Silton, you should know some of the doors have been boarded up. Here, take my crowbar. Oi, that's mine, laughed Mr. Preston. You said you didn't take it, you really are a proper c***. Mr. Preston explained that they had used it in what he called their old business. I soon realized this meant all sorts of robbery, but he said that they'd given that all up after falling out with their old gang of associates. Although Mr. Preston's story was very interesting, Sim and the blind man had something even more interesting for me, something they called an auto map.
Now, this was clearly worth something.
As if from nowhere, Heather appeared. I was shocked. The house was a dangerous place for a well-trained robot, let alone a young lady.
Why are you so surprised? She asked.
I know this place at least as well as you. I was able to salvage some circuitry from the other robot, and Heather was more than happy to help fit it. Heather showed me her robot manual and explained how I would use this new power-up. It was designed for demolition units and seemed that it reinforced my shoulders, allowing me to barge through old or crumbling walls. The controls relied on a press of the Z button to activate the dash and subsequent wall smash.
The machinery looked like it would explode in 10 minutes. I had to get it back to the hallway. I just hoped someone knew what to do with it. The block was very shiny. It looked like it might be able to reflect the laser beams. I couldn't go outside, I had to get back to the others. I couldn't go outside, I had to get back to the others.
Upon my return, the old lady and the blind man fitted the circuitry. I was worried about Mr. Deck as he seemed depressed about being chained up. But when I tried to talk to him, he just looked angry and went back to his lovely music. So I made my way up to the roof to help everyone fit the satellite dish, and bring us one step closer to broadcasting the nice virus. With some brilliant timing, as we all climbed down from the roof, the professor appeared. I think this was the youngest I had ever seen him. Mr. Preston looked most shocked. When we last saw you, you were, but the professor cut him off explaining, "Stop, I can't risk my mission by knowing too much about my personal future." Mr. Deck was so pleased to see him, saying, "Thank God you're back, it's terrible here with these savages." When we explained what we were trying to do, the professor seemed pleased and offered to help. Somehow his box opened some kind of portal and he urged me to step through. I was slightly apprehensive but followed him into what turned out to be his bedroom. He explained that now I would be able to travel instantly between the hallway and his room, which, when he showed me on my map, turned out to be really useful. So, after he had undone the complicated-looking lock on the door, we made our way back to the hallway. But before we could even thank him, he was gone again.